annoyed that my surprise has been ruined. And guys, I'll share real quick how I told everybody. So obviously my friend Lauren and then my friend Katie, I sent them a text with a picture and just saying, oh my gosh. They both knew that we were trying, and so it wasn't, you know, just a total shock. They knew that it was coming up on time for me to take a test. For Chase, I could not decide how I wanted to tell him, and I got nervous and I didn't know what to do. So I ended up that day when he got home from work, he was crawling around playing with McLean, and she was just in a mood. She's sassy and can be in a mood, and she didn't want anything to do with him. She was playing and she just wanted to be left alone. So I made the comment, you know, I hope our third one, or maybe the third baby will like play with you, want something to do with you, want more to do with you or something. I can't remember exactly how I said it, but I said something like that. And he made the comment, oh, we're not having a third baby. Because he still would joke, like, I don't want a third baby. Because he would have been fine not having a third baby. He's very excited that we are, but he was kind of, I don't want to say indifferent about it, but he wasn't like, yes, I really want a third, I want a third, I need a third. Not as like into it as but he wasn't like mad about it or anything like that. Like he knew that we were trying, and so it's kind of hard to explain, but so he just, you know, kind of rolled his eyes and jokingly said, we're not having a third baby, because it's a little argument that we go back and forth with. And so I just kind of looked at him, and he goes, what is that for? And I just looked at him again, and I said, well, what if I'm pregnant? And he goes, what are you talking about? So I went and I got the test and I showed him, and he of course was in shock because he was not at all expecting it. And I told him right before he was going for a run, I was like, let me tell him so he has a minute to process it and really think about everything, because it's a big change. Like, we always knew we'd have at least 2 kids, so a third one is a big difference. It's a big change. So I wanted to give him a minute to really think about it and process it. So I told him, I showed him the test, we kind of talked about it, and then he went for a run. And then he was so excited, and he still has been so excited, and he says things, and he you know, was even coming up with names the other day of what he would want a middle name to be for if we had a boy. And so it's really fun to see him be excited and be so into a pregnancy. We have not told any of our family yet. We were going to wait until our ultrasound to make sure that it is a viable pregnancy to tell them. But then the craziest of situations happened. So a couple months ago, I worked with my family, and we had set up a Google phone number for our work. And we were trying to figure out how to do it. You had to log on to a Google account. So I had just logged on to my Google account, and, you know, we tried to do it through that way. So somehow, and I don't remember because this has been months ago, but we signed into my Google account on my dad's phone so that he could set up the Google phone app. And for some reason, of all weekends, this weekend he was looking through pictures. I guess he thought he was going to be looking through his Google pictures, but he was seeing my Google pictures. And he saw the pregnancy test pictures. Like, are you kidding me? Of all the times, of all the pictures for you to look at, you see the pictures of my pregnancy test. Like, literally, the day that I had taken, this was my 3rd day taking a test, and I have a picture of all 3 days with the dates on them, so I can't pretend like it's an old picture, with the dates on them side by side to see the progression. Like, are you kidding me? So he, of course, calls me and is like, I just saw this picture and I have to ask, are you pregnant? And at first I was scrambling. I didn't know what to say. Didn't know how to cover it up. And I was like, no, those are my friend Lauren's pregnancy tests. They're not mine. I'm not pregnant. No. And he was like, okay, like, you're not pregnant. Like, seemed to buy it, but I don't know for sure if he did or not. And he obviously has told my mom, so my mom has been suspicious. So then I've just been annoyed that my surprise has been ruined and that they've said anything to start with. He should have just kept it to himself. So I don't know when I'm going to tell them. I was going to tell my mom this past weekend, but then with all of this happening, I've decided I'm not telling him right now. So I think we're going to stick to after the ultrasound. Clearly, my whole family already knows. My brother was with my dad out of town when he saw that. So my dad and brother know that the pictures were there. He's told my mom about the pictures. So everyone in my family knows about the pictures. And I don't think any of them believe that they're not my test. And it's so frustrating because this is the first time I could actually have a surprise pregnancy. You know, my family was not expecting. I haven't been on fertility treatments. No one really knew that we wanted a third child, so this was going to truly be a surprise and to tell my family as a surprise. And I'm so mad. I'm so bummed out. But, I mean, I'm not mad, but it's just so frustrating and it bummed me out. So, I don't know. I think maybe because our ultrasound is February 13th, so we may do something for Valentine's Day and tell them on Valentine's Day. Or I've even thought about maybe, like, because I'm sure they're expecting to find out on Valentine's Day, so wait and maybe like the day after to tell them. And Chase's family we're actually going out of town with for a long weekend, the weekend after that, you know, that weekend, the 16th through 20th. So I think we may tell them while we're out of town. And then Chase wants to wait a while before we announce it on social media. I'm not sure how long he'll make me wait to post this, so we'll see when you guys actually see this, but he wants to wait, and you know, he's been acting like, oh, it's nobody's business but our own, we don't need to share it, and I think he's just kind of nervous. You know, he's the worrier. He worries for me, my health, he worries about the baby, so he just wants to make sure everything's right before we tell people, and then if something happened, you know, from previous experience and having to go back, having the loss, and it being such a public loss, you know, with so many people seeing it and knowing about it. So hopefully, you know, after a couple visits, because I will be seeing a specialist as well this time, I'll be going to just my regular doctor, and then I'll go to a perinatologist, I think is what they're called, to follow the pregnancy to make sure that everything is still going smoothly. That means more ultrasounds and more checks and tests. So I'm excited about that, and this video is super long, so that is pretty much my update for today. If you have any questions, leave them down in the description, or down in the description. Leave them down below, and I will do my best to answer all of them. We are so excited. Based on my estimations, our due date is October 6th. So we'll see once we go in for an ultrasound and see the doctor what they say. But from my calculations, October 6th will be our due date. So we'll have a little fall baby. And I'm so excited and cannot wait.